The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
How you doing, all right?
Yeah, cheers, how you doing? Oh, sorry, good. Right, okay, so as usual, we'll do broadcast section first, with Ian kicking us off. Whenever you're ready.
Hey, hello, Ian Bolton from Sky. Nice.
Hi there.
Let's talk about the players that you have available for this match. How do things stand with Marko Arnautovic, having come off 15 minutes from the end of the match?
Yeah, it looked really serious when he came off. You know, we thought it was bad, and I think the first thought was broken arm, then it was broken thumb. But thankfully, in the end, there's no breaks. It was badly swollen. It was a bit like a boxer's hand when we saw it the next day after. But he's fine. He's trained with just sort of a good plaster on it. He's okay.
And in terms of other players coming back from injury, Andre Ayew,
yeah.
Mikel Antonio.
Well, Andre Ayew was illness, so his wasn't so bad, but he's taken a couple of days to find his feet after an illness. But he's back in amongst us, so that's good. Mikel Antonio's back in amongst us as well, but I think he looks short of fitness and certainly match practice at the moment, so he won't be included in the squad for the game. But we need him back for the coming weeks.
And how are things progressing with James Collins? Is he back with you training now?
James Collins has been back training. He came out of training for one day. He just still felt a little bit of a tweak. So we're sort of feeding him in, bringing him out, but we're trying to get him back because we've got so many games and a really busy schedule coming up. That's why rushing Mikel Antonio or rushing James Collins back, I don't necessarily think it's the right thing at the moment because of the heavy period coming up. I'm going to need them coming up in the coming sort of weeks and months.
Do you have any other injury concerns ahead of this match against Leicester?
I don't think we've really got any other injuries from where we're at. You know, it'd be good to get one or two of the other boys back. You know, even like Sam Byron and some of the younger boys back in amongst it as well. It'd be good to get them back. Javi Hernandez, we're hoping he'll start some running and join in at the start of next week. So we're hopeful for him next week.
After the defeat at Watford, what sort of a response have you seen from your players in training over the last few days?
Well, we analysed the game over with the players very quickly. We got it out of the way, and there was a lot of good things in the game which wouldn't be noticeable, and just some markers for us within the group that we can say, look, that was better, this is better. I think we passed it more, I think we ran more. So right away we have to consider them as pluses. Obviously what we didn't do was we didn't score, but in truth we probably should have scored 3. So I still didn't think our performance merited that, but they are the positives and we have to look at them.
You said that some players with big reputations disappointed you, and that you needed them to show why they had that reputation. Have you seen something from those players over the last few days?
Well, if you're a player, one game's never enough anyway. You know, one game would be very hard to do that in isolation. I've only had one game with them. So I think we do have players with big reputation. I think we do have some really good players as well. So I'm looking for good performances from them.
Mark Noble, after the match, said that there was a bit of a lack of belief in the players. What do you make of those comments?
Well, I think you lack a little bit of confidence at times. No, they've just lost a manager. No, and the only way you lose managers normally is when your results aren't so good. So I would say that would be an obvious thing to say because you know what changes that is winning. I think playing well, and as I said, I think that maybe if things had gone slightly different for us in the Watford game, then that can quickly lift confidence. But best way to do it is get on the ball and play and try and get that win under our belt.
What do you need to see from the players in this match?
I think their attitude and their application wasn't in question for me against Watford, far from it. And actually, I said that we could show that wasn't the case. So I think that's the first thing we need to see. But I'm looking for better quality play. I'm looking for more opportunities, albeit I don't know if we'll get many better than we got in the last game. But we just need to improve our all-round play, really.
The supporters, the West Ham supporters who went to Victory Road were quite vocal. They were critical of the team, they were critical of the board. What do you say to the fans? This is your first home match.
Well, I want everybody to be together and be united and help each other along. I wasn't here, I'm not aware of any problems before I came, so I wasn't made aware of anything. I was a little bit surprised when I heard it, I've got to say. So I want them behind us. I want to give the team every chance of winning. And look, West Ham have always been a really vocal support. You know, I can vouch for that over the years. You know, the years and years I came, and you're always looking forward to get away from Upton Park after the game because you knew it was going to be tough. So we want them to be supportive of the team. Look, they're knowledgeable supporters. They've seen a lot of good stuff going on over the years here, and they want their team to play well.
How important do you think that togetherness, both from the fans and perhaps within the team as well? How important is all that going?
Well, what we've got to do is build it, make sure within the team that we build it, and we make sure, I've said many times, you've got to be all together, and we make sure that whatever happens or whatever said outside, is affecting us all, not just one.
What would winning mean? Well, listen, it would put you 1 point behind Leicester, who are currently 12th. But what would it do in terms of belief, in terms of confidence, in terms of moving forwards?
It would be great. That for us, we need that, and we've got fixtures coming up which are going to be much more difficult. Albeit, I've got to say, Leicester City is a really difficult fixture as well. But overall, I think that the winning is the thing that changes a lot. The thing that changes how your week looks. It changes how you go about your work. So obviously, I think the players here and myself and my staff, we would all like a win as soon as we can.
I mean, you mentioned the fixtures that are coming up: Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal. Does that make getting something from Leicester even more important?
It makes it important, but you have to play all the teams twice in a season. So whether you get them in a row, whether you get them spread out, I think the top 5 or 6 in the Premier League at the moment are good, very hot. The teams, they really are, and it'll be difficult against those teams. So you've got to make the most of it when you're playing the other sides.
What's your assessment of Leicester just at the moment? I mean, do you sense that they are a different team under Claude 12 than they were under Craig Shakespeare?
Well, I've watched a couple of their games. Obviously, knowing that we were playing them. I think the structure, even from Claudio Ranieri, hasn't really changed. I think they've got some outstanding players, and I think the style of play really suits their team and their club. And I've got to say, I think the new manager's introduced a little bit different. I think there's 1 or 2 different things I've seen, I think. And overall, though, I think you'll see the Leicester City, which most people sort of recognise in the way they played a few years ago.
Alison?
Hi David, Alison Bain.
Hi Alison.
Hi there. Most of the fans, I think, when a new manager comes into a club, they expect a bit of a new manager bounce, if you like. Do you think that puts too much extra expectation? Because obviously you need a bit of time to put your own methods in, to make a difference. There's this high level of expectation.
Yeah, there is. I wish the word time, you could actually give with managers. I don't think you can now. I think every manager used to come out and say, well, I'd like a bit of time, can I get a bit of time? And let's be fair, they do, and we do, and I do. But the fact of the matter is, it's probably not given anymore. So I think you have to come into it and just say, well, I have to try and pick up results very quickly. Certainly the position we're in the league means that we have to look to win and pick up wins. But ultimately, it does need time to work with the players and get to know them. Like last week, for example, Winston Reid checked Coyote, one other, I'm trying to think of the other one. I didn't have time to work with at all last week. They just came in and we had a little bit and got to know them. In fact, they weren't involved in a lot of the stuff we've been doing the week before. So I think it does take a little bit of time to get to know them and understand them.
In terms of, you just spoke about, speaking about players with big reputations, letting you down in a way. That must have been very difficult as a manager, after your first game to come out with something so vocal. But do you feel that was necessary? Did you get the reaction desired from making that statement?
Well, I think now, managers are the people who carry everything. So, but I think the players have to take responsibility, and I've got to say the players here have taken the responsibility, and it's to say, come on, I actually said after the game that I think they can play much better. But maybe on another day, we needed a goal to go in or something just to give us a bit of a change in the game. So I think that players do have responsibility. They have to be accountable for their performances. and that's why I want a lot of them to look to play much better.
Just finally from me, Yakubu has just announced his retirement, age 35. He was excellent for you, obviously, when you were Everton manager. Have you got some words on him?
Yeah, I'd like. Yak was fantastic. He's a great boy as well, and we had great times together. Some good, some bad with him, but I've got to say it was a great boy, and he's done great. He's had a really good career. He came to Everton and was very much part of the team. We had himself and Joseph Yobo, 2 Nigerians, and they were both really, really good for us, and we enjoyed having them. And it was great that he's had such a good career, and I hope he goes on to do something else now that he's finished.
Yeah.
I think most people thought that defensively West Ham was the problem last Sunday at Watford. How have you managed to get into that this week?
Well, I thought defensively we actually done okay. I think that our goal came badly from with 3 half challenges in the box for the first goal. I think we should have been stronger in it, whether we should have cleared it or whether it was a scuff shot which landed at Hughes. That one, we were disappointed we got caught out on the second one going forward. And we found ourselves in, we made a couple of mistakes even after that. I thought other than that, looking at it, I don't think Watford actually penetrated us too often. I don't think Watford had too many clear-cut chances. I actually thought that by then we probably had the best 3 or 4 chances in the game. We didn't take our chances. Goals changed the games, changed how people see it. But I actually thought there was parts defensively I thought we'd done a bit better.
Like last Sunday, tomorrow it's on TV, it's the only game. You're very much in the spotlight, your team is in the spotlight. Is that ideal, or would you like to have been buried away 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon?
I think now the business we're in, I think everybody's in the spotlight all the time. I think we all accept it. We're on TV, we're on radio. I think the job is, I think football is shown everywhere, and the games are shown and talked about and discussed. So I think we're all very much aware of that now.
You had a couple of young kids on the bench as well last week, Martinez and Rice. Are you of a mind to maybe see what the young products coming through here can do for you?
Well, I definitely have. I've always wanted to introduce young players, especially if I think it's right and when it's right. I think Declan Rice has already been in. I think the bigger problem for Tony Martinez is that he's got competition in front of him. People who are centre forwards, Andre Ayew, Diafra Sakho, obviously Andy Carroll as well. So we have people who can do that role. That's his biggest thing. Like I'm going to get his name wrong. Young Dominic. Has been training with us and he was on the bench as well. Whereas we're a little bit more short, I would say, of midfield players. So the openings can come for young players, partly due to injuries or suspensions or just not having people in those positions.
West Brom and Everton just above West Ham in the table, they're both still looking for managers. So is that giving you you and West Ham a bit of a head start that you've been in for a couple of weeks now, while there's still a lot of uncertainty at those clubs? I
hope so. I thought that we are going to get that opportunity. And look, the players have been really good in the period we've been in. They really have. I can only praise them. And I said the one thing about them, they really want to do well here. And I repeat myself, but their application last week in the game would have shown only in figures, and people wouldn't see that. But when your figures have been in a poor position, then at least there's a positive to take from that. So the players' application in the game and what they tried to do was maybe one of the highest I've had all season, if not the highest. So we're expecting more. We're looking for those levels to continue and improve on top of that as well if we can.
Finally, a slightly frivolous one. You're hoping that Jamie Vardy might have half a mind on his wife being in the jungle.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind Jamie being in the jungle. if I could do a swap deal, put Jamie in.
David, when you're playing a team like Leicester, I know that on your first home game, I imagine you want to impose yourself, but is it difficult when it is a team like Leicester, given what they're like on the counter?
I think you're right. I think everybody knows their speed, their aggressiveness. So, look, we have to think about the opposition. We'd be naive. I think if you're at the top of the league, you think about your own team completely. But I think when you're in the position we're in, we have to think what the opposition could do to hurt us, but we also have to think what we can do to hurt the opposition. So there's a balance between that. We obviously know what Leicester's threats are, but we need to try and give Leicester problems as well by how we play and what we do. So it's a tight balance, and we hope to be able to do both.
Moyes seems to have recovered his form. He had a bit last season from the title-winning season. Is he just as much of a problem for you as Vardy?
Yeah, I think Mahrez now possibly playing as a number 10 could, and I get asked the question a little bit, had they changed their style much, Leicester? I think Mahrez maybe being a number 10 gives them a different sort of way of playing. I think it's probably a more technical player in that position than, say, Okazaki, who would give them the energy and the legs. So I don't know whether he'll play wide. I don't know if he'll play as a number 10, but I think in one of the games he played, I think it gave them that a little bit more craft through the middle of the pitch.
Just finally from me, apologies if you mentioned this, I wanted to ask about the stadium, and you've been down there. What do you make of it, and has it been tricky, do you think, for West Ham to make it a home for themselves?
I have been down. I've been down a couple of times this week. I was there a year or so ago as the manager of Sunderland. Look, it's a brilliant stadium, so don't let MD tell you any different. It is going to be the stadium where we're in now for the next 100 years, and we're going to play there for 100 years. So I think when teams move to stadiums, it can be the moving there can be difficult at times. Now I don't think it was that easy for Arsenal to win initially when they moved to their stadium. It can happen. So we have to start getting used to winning there, and it's going to be home. I watched the game against Chelsea, I think, last year and it was probably one of the best atmospheres I had heard in the Premier League that last season, if you've been honest. So it's possible, and I think what we need to do is give the supporters something to shout about. If we can give them something to shout about and something that looks half decent, then I think they'll support us wherever. I think West Ham supporters will support their team no matter what stadium they played in.
Brilliant. Thank you, Cam. Cameras off, please, guys.